Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. So let me ask you, what do you think it's going to be like in just a few weeks? When the holidays are over, the distractions of trying to figure out ways to get together with others without causing any physical challenges, physical distancing should never have been called social distancing. It should have been called physical distancing. Would have had less of a mental and emotional impact that way. But what do you think is going to happen in a few weeks? Whenever the distractions of the holidays go away, and here, at least in the Midwest of the U.S., we begin to really settle into the darker days of winter. Well, I'm already seeing it now show up. What do you think these women all have in common? So one reached out because she has a diagnosis of COPD, breathing problems, and oh my gosh, we've got to give up the cigarettes. The other one reached out because we're having to have surgery and really concerned that nothing she's done up to this point is actually helping with her health. And then the other reached out because a relationship, it seems like nothing that she's been doing is making it any better. What do you think they all might have in common? Why are they reaching out now? Well, they've hit life emergency. Something has come up, and it seems like nothing they're doing is making it any better, because there is a difference between trying to control things outside of you and instead saying, what's the dream? What's the urgency around my fuller expression? By the way, I want you to keep all three women in mind, as well as this. The body expresses what the mind represses. So keep that in mind. See, as we go through things, we're like, no, it's not that big of a deal. And then we shove down the internal advisor that's saying, you really need to look at this. No, you really need to do something about this. Not the other person, not the situation outside of you, but internally. And it is not just with doing a better diet and cutting out the bad habits. There is a dream that you have, a dream that you're in a relationship that is actually going to serve you, a dream that the pain that's happened in the past, that you can find a way now to actually use that and maybe advocate for others so they don't have to go through the pain that you've been through. It's called giving your pain a purpose. But no. We'll be able to make this situation better without making ourselves better. Does not work that way, because all you do is you learn to settle. You learn to settle with the pain that you have. Have you heard of the story of the frogs? That if you take a frog and you throw it into a pot of boiling water, it'll jump out. But if you take a frog and you put it into a pot of lukewarm water where it feels good because it's cold-blooded, right? So it's just hanging out, floating around. And then you turn up the heat. the frog will eventually boil to death. Now, I don't know if it's true, but I think it's a great analogy of the situations that we find ourselves in, and the heat gets turned up, and we learn to settle for more and more pain, for shoving those dreams into the background until the body says, nope, we're going to absolutely fall apart. Now it is no longer goal urgency that you need to be acting on the dream. Now you're in crisis. You're in chaos because you refuse to do anything about it except shove it to the side. And now your body is going, well, then you're going to have to deal with the symptoms this way. See, everything in the universe goes by this number one law, the law of more life. Everything seeks fuller expression, which is the reason why they can have challenges with, say, flu vaccines, that they can't use the same one year after year. Because even the flu has to go by the number one law of the universe, and it seeks out more life. It will then modify itself to adapt to the situation. But more life shows up in one of two ways, either growth or decay. So the flu and its modifications to where the vaccine can't be used twice on it, well, that would be on the decay side, because the flu looks at destroying whatever it invades. But then there's the more life where it's growth, where it seeks amplification, it seeks replication in a way that actually adds to life instead of taking away from it. But it has to show up in one of these two forms. Your dream, your desire, your goal actually showed up in a way that said, we're going to add to life. Not only is it going to bless you, but it's going to bless everybody around you that is also wanting to experience growth. And then, at least the women that had reached out to me the last few days, well, they decided, don't go after that dream. Put it in a corner. And instead learn to settle for more pain. Well, the law of more life says you're either going to be growing or you're going to be dying. And then they wonder why the situation that they didn't want to look at, they wonder why the painful experience that happened, that took their breath away, but they never did anything to deal with it. And now it's showing up in their health. They're wondering why the situation in the relationship with the other is now leading to how many more things are going to break, because the number one law of the universe says you're either going to use it or it's going to use you. You're either going to have goal urgency, where you're going to have to figure out a way to give your pain a purpose and move forward with it. This is not positive thinking. Positive thinking has been scientifically proven to be bogus. It's BBS, bad belief system. Okay? It's not positive thinking, it's progress. How do you adapt instead of maladapting? Because it's only going to be one of two ways. So how do you use what you're experiencing in a way that's going to bring you out at fuller expression for growth? Because you're coming up on a choice. Okay, 4 weeks. What makes 4 weeks so important about all of this? Because we're at December 15th. January 15th is when New Year's resolutions are typically given up on because of what's known as learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is exactly what it says. It's learned, and it's, hey, nothing I do matters. Nothing I do works. Why try to make 2021 any better? I tried this year, And you know what? I'm just going to push it to the side. So January 15th is when most people decide to give up. But January 15th of 2021, it's going to have a whole different meaning because it's not just going to be learned helplessness. It's going to be hopelessness. Hopelessness says, instead of nothing that I do works, hopelessness says, I don't work. I'm broken. I'm flawed. That there's nothing that can fix me. And we are going to see this in greater numbers than ever before because there's something known as emotional optimization that when your mind goes through a repeated emotional experience for 21 days, it thinks it's supposed to experience that emotion. Fear, overwhelm, stress. I'm not supposed to use the words anxiety or panic because those are now labeled disorders that say you need to be on drugs. And I don't write prescriptions for drugs. Instead, I give you the prescription of bringing yourself out at your very best. And you take those emotions and you turn them on to actually support you. Fear can be turned on into excitement. Overwhelm is opportunities for growth. Okay. So what makes 4 weeks so important? It is going to be combined with the fact that people are beginning to experience helplessness, but it's going to go beyond that. It's going to be hopelessness. The holidays are going to be over. The mind has gone through the 3 weeks of emotional optimization that I'm using the holidays to distract myself, to keep me from having to deal with this dream that won't give up on me. And I keep putting it to the side. And there's something that I won't look at because I feel like I don't have what I need to be able to move forward. And we are going to see a pandemic of health crisis. And the wave is just going to begin the middle of January. You think a vaccine is going to save people from this? It's not. They have to discover who they are. You got to give the pain a purpose. Okay. So, what is it then that you need to do about you? So you are not another statistic. What is it that you need to do about you? So you actually have the light that others can be looking for because they're not going to know how to turn on their light themselves. Well, I'm going to give you the ability to start this process. It is my gift to you for the holiday season. Go to drewdawnferguson.com/5. drewdawnferguson.com/5. You are going to find a 5-day series, 5 master classes that are going to show you how to turn your wound into your wealth, how to keep motivating to move into success. The bad beliefs that have been holding you hostage, you're now going to turn them into your trinity that's going to take you to the top. When you get triggered for self-sabotage, how to actually turn it around to be triggered to get more done with less effort, and then a 5 to Thrive plan of action. I do not want you to experience the emergencies that are going to hit us like a wave, mental, emotional, and physical. Instead, the universe is saying it's goal urgency. It's time to turn those dreams into your reality, because if you do not, you're going to be dealing with the physical repercussions. Because remember, the body expresses what the mind represses. You've got to find a way to give meaning to everything you've been through. and now actually use it to turn your brilliance on even brighter. You have a choice today. No longer allow yourself to be distracted. No longer allow your dreams to be denied. My gift to you, drewdawnferguson.com/5. I'm waiting for you on the other side. And so is your dream. And so are all the others that are going to benefit from your light. Because about January 15th, it's going to start getting really dark for a lot of people. You are a leader. The leaders are the only ones that show up in my world and then stick around. You're that leader. It's time for you to turn on your light so you can help others find their switch. So, until we get together in the 5 to Thrive Masterclasses, blessings on your brilliance. You can do this. I believe in it, you. And until you can develop your own belief, borrow mine.